Hey guys, Leslie here, and today I want to answer the question, is gray hair genetic? Sometimes it is. There are two extremely rare diseases that can cause gray hair. One is called von Recklinghausen's disease. The other one is tuberous sclerosis. Both of these are very, very uncommon. However, they do cause premature gray hair. The other two reasons why gray hair could happen have to do with an enzyme that I've talked about before called Catalase. And in this paper out of Wuhan in Hubei, China, interestingly enough, as we're all talking about COVID, this paper was done on premature graying of hair, where they took a group of young Chinese men who had extremely premature gray hair, and they wanted to understand why the hair was so gray. When they looked very carefully at it, and you can see here that they looked very closely at the hair shafts, they discovered that actually the catalase activity in the hair bulb was 20 times less than that of an average young man of the same age. So genetically, you may be predisposed to extremely low catalase activity. Now, as you know, Catalase is one of those supplements. I find it very hard to even find here in Britain. I'm not even sure that it works. I've heard that topical Catalase, where you expose the Catalase that you've applied topically and you expose that to UV light, that apparently that works. However, you can supplement with liposomal glutathione, which will have the same antioxidant effect, which would be to neutralize the hydrogen peroxide that is produced in the hair bulb. Now, if you've watched my other videos about why gray hair happens, you know that when we're under a lot of stress, cortisol is released, becomes adrenaline, so we can do the fight, flight, freeze thing. And then after the threat is gone, the body gets rid of the adrenaline by converting it to hydrogen peroxide. We then need a good supply of Catalase or glutathione. Now, if we don't have that, we bleach hair from the inside out. It also turns out that when we have an infection, our body naturally will use hydrogen peroxide as a natural antibacterial, antiviral. So if you happen to have been sick, really sick recently with a virus or with some kind of a bug, it is possible that your hydrogen peroxide levels went up and you may notice some more grays than you did before, and that's why that's happening. Now, the other genetic reason why you could have more grays actually has to do with something called methylation and methyl donors. So some of you may be familiar with this single nucleotide polymorphism, or SNP, called the MTHFR SNP. I happen to have a defective SNP here. It means that I don't actually donate. I don't have as many methyl donors to donate when folate enters my system. So folate is one of those things. You may know that in the United States, we actually supplement foods like cereals and breads with folate and folic acid. And the reason for that is to prevent spina bifida and other birth defects like cleft palate. If you do not have methyl donors to convert folate into bioactive methylfolate and also methionine, you basically decrease the number of places where those very important vitamins can actually keep your body in homeostasis. Another thing that they do is they upregulate glutathione production. So you remember me just talking about this. If we don't have enough catalase in our bodies, we can use glutathione to neutralize hydrogen peroxide and stop that bleaching from the inside out effect. As we get older, both our catalase and our glutathione production naturally decline. That's why you have age-related graying. So what I'm talking about in today's video is about genetic premature graying. So it is possible that if your methylation is not optimal, you won't be able to produce glutathione in order to neutralize that hydrogen peroxide. So I hope that this video has taken some of the mystery away from the genetic causes of gray hair, because I do get this question a lot, in particular for those of you who are under the age of, say, 25 and are experiencing this. I can imagine just how distressing this is. There are things that you can do to correct this. So if you have, for example, that genetic, if you have that genetic marker that downregulates catalase production, you can just eat foods that will be precursors to glutathione. You can increase your NAC and acetylcysteine intake. You can take liposomal glutathione as well. If you have a methylation issue, you can also take certain types of B vitamins. This is actually quite tricky. It really does depend on your own, not just your genetics, but depends on your epigenetics, the expression of those genes, and you really need to work with a medical professional to optimize here. So hope this was useful. If you've got any questions at all, I look at every comment. Please put them in the comments below. Equally, if you'd like to get some anti-aging tips, which I'll be culling from all of the forum questions and comments and give the answers that I've given, again, sign up in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.